Hello and welcome, everyone. This is Jackie Christensen, and you are at the Sisel Product Call. I'll be your host for this evening, and I am a nutritionist and personal trainer. I do Sisel full-time, but my passion and my love is helping people with their health, and that crosses over to underarm deodorant as well. So I was joking about how it's not the most exciting or glamorous topic, but we'll make it as exciting as possible. Actually, it was more exciting than I thought because most people, hopefully all people that you know anyway, use deodorant or underarm deodorant or antiperspirant every day. And if they don't, you'll know it, and I'm sure you know what I mean. So most people that use these products are buying them over the counter, and even if they're buying them from the health food store, they assume that they're buying healthy products. But even in some of those natural products that you buy over the counter, the ones that I'm sure you all would recognize, they even have some of the ingredients that are known as toxins and are very harmful to you. So you can't just go by the store that you're buying these products, or you can't just go by the label. One of the culprits is Tom's brand, not Tom Mallard, but just Tom's of Maine. And I was one of those people that just assumed that was a good one because it was Tom's and it said all natural ones. But someone pointed out to me that it actually had propylene glycol. So let's go ahead and talk about our Sisel Safe deodorant. It's called Everfresh. Sells for about $7, and it lasts forever. It's a roll-on. That took a little getting used to. I haven't used a roll-on probably since the 80s, but just need a little bit. What I found, it dries in just 2 or 3 minutes. In fact, I put it on and I get dressed right away, and it's dry before I even know it. So you don't feel that it's not sticky. You don't feel like, oh, my underarms are wet. I've got to hold my arms up to dry. You don't have to do that. You might have to if you put on too much. If you roll it and roll it and roll it, you really do not need more than just a swipe in each direction, and you're done. All right. So it is a blend with botanical extracts of aloe, witch hazel, coriander, and sage. So let me tell you a little bit about underarm deodorants and antiperspirants. You probably already know this, but I'm going to say it again. The U.S. personal care and cosmetic industries, they greatly lack oversight and regulation. And in today's climate, it's necessary to, no pun intended, to arm yourself with the essential knowledge to be your own product police. And that's not only with underarm deodorants and personal care products, but it's with everything that you take, your medicines, your pharmaceutical drugs that are prescribed to you. You want to look at the side effects. Anything that you're eating, you want to make sure it doesn't have pesticides or herbicides. So you really do have to be on top of your own health. You really are the only one that can do the due diligence that you can do. So don't rely on anyone to tell you if it's good or bad for you. Just go and find out yourself. It's so easy. I mean, it just takes a few seconds to go to your computer and Google an ingredient. If you don't know what to Google, you could, for example, I used propylene glycol as an example. You could put in propylene glycol and side effects and see what comes up, and any keyword search terms like that. Now, we all know that most companies, commercial companies, put their bottom line before the well-being of their consumers. It's all about money and making profits and all that, commercialism. And they load up their products with toxic chemicals. Now, if you listen to Tom Mallard at all, the founder and owner of Sisel International, he's also a chemist. He's the chief scientific officer. He started this company, his mission, called the Mallard Mission, almost 30 years ago. And his mission is to get rid of all the toxic chemicals that we use in our everyday products, which are linked to disease and illness and cancer and all kinds of things. So the average adult uses 9 personal care products a day. That's not even including makeup and perfume. That's just, underarm deodorant and lotions and shampoo and body wash and things like that, pretty basic, toothpaste. And they roughly have 120 chemicals spread among them, many of which are incompletely tested for toxicity. So the cosmetic industry doesn't have any regulations, and they can pretty much put whatever they want into the product. So researchers have concluded that the cumulative effect of daily deodorant could be damaging to your health, and most importantly, by increasing the risk for cancer. So the following is a detailed list and explanation of dangerous chemicals commonly found in non-natural deodorants and antiperspirants. So let me give you a little bit of distinguish a little bit between deodorant and antiperspirant. So deodorant is deodorizer. So it kills the smell, and smell is caused by bacteria. Antiperspirants keep you from perspiring. The only way you can do that is to block the pores, and that's where the first culprit comes in, and that is aluminum. If you're from Great Britain, they call it aluminium. Aluminum-based products or compounds are the active ingredients in antiperspirants. They block the sweat glands to keep sweat from getting to the skin's surface. Now, some research has suggested that these aluminum compounds may be absorbed by the skin and cause changes in estrogen receptors of breast cells. Now, because estrogen can promote the growth of both cancer and non-cancer breast cells, some scientists have suggested that using the aluminum-based compounds in antiperspirants may be a risk factor for the development of breast cancer. Also, studies have looked at aluminum content of breast tissue and aluminum absorption through the skin, but there's no clear link to breast cancer. They haven't made that link, but we can kind of look at, what's going on here. Researchers continue to look at this possible breast cancer risk factor, and more studies are needed. So guess who is making this statement? The American Cancer Society. So here's a theory also, and this is my own theory, but women shave their underarms sometimes every day, or at least every couple days. So 2-3 days a week we are shaving our underarms. What do we do when we get out of the shower after we've just shaven our underarms? We pat dry, and most of us put on antiperspirant or deodorant. Now, most people use antiperspirant over deodorant to block the wetness. So you've got open skin. You've got skin that's just been shaved, and you're putting aluminum, something that contains aluminum, so it's more readily absorbed in the skin. The next ingredient that is a known toxin is parabens. Now, parabens come in many forms. Anything that ends, the second part of the word ends in paraben. So methylparaben, propylparaben, ethylparaben, or butylparaben. They are a class of artificial preservatives widely used in cosmetics and personal care products, and they are being investigated for the possible role in breast cancer. Now, parabens mimic also the activity of estrogen in the body. So far we've got 2 estrogen mimics. Since estrogen promotes the growth of breast cancer cells, and a woman is 8 times more likely to develop breast cancer in the part of the breast closest to the underarm, scientists are studying the connection. Although parabens have estrogen-like properties, the estrogens that are made in the body are hundreds of times stronger. So natural estrogens, or those taken as hormone replacement, are much more likely to play a role in breast cancer development. The next culprit is propylene glycol. This is a humectant, which means it keeps substances from drying out, and it was originally developed as an antifreeze. Yes, antifreeze. But it's now included in some deodorants and antiperspirants. It's a neurotoxin known to cause contact dermatitis, kidney damage, and liver damage. In propylene glycol's material safety data sheet published by the National Institute for Occupational Health and Safety, workers are urged to avoid skin contact with the toxic chemical, as it may cause high skin irritation, gastrointestinal irritation, discomfort, nausea, headache, vomiting, and central nervous depression. Yes, it says avoid skin contact, and you're putting it under your underarms right after you shave. Now, propylene glycol, it also dissolves barnacles on the bottom of a boat. Have you ever cleaned the bottom of a boat? It's almost impossible to get those barnacles off unless you chip away at it with tools. This is what propylene glycol is used for. It's also used in brake fluids, hydraulics, and it needs to be disposed of as a toxic chemical. Pretty bad stuff. The next ingredient to watch for is TEA and DEA. TEA is triphenylamines and diphenylamine. It adjusts the pH, and it's used with many fatty acids to convert acid to salt, which then becomes a base for a cleanser. They both could be toxic if absorbed into the body over a long period of time. Remember, we use that deodorant every single day. Where DEA can cause liver and kidney damage, and TEA can cause allergic reactions. These chemicals are already restricted in Europe due to known carcinogenic or cancer-causing effects. Shall we go on? How about triclosan? Now, this is also in toothpaste and a lot of personal care products. It is an artificial antimicrobial chemical used to kill bacteria on the skin and other surfaces. Remember, bacteria causes an odor. Triclosan is a skin irritant and may cause contact dermatitis. Recent studies suggest this chemical may disrupt thyroid function and other critical hormone systems. The AMA, or the American Medical Association, recommends that triclosan and other antibacterial products not be used in the home, as they may encourage bacterial resistance to antibiotics that can allow resistant strains to flourish. So you've probably also seen it in hand cleanser. Next is FD&C colors. They are artificial synthetic colors approved by the FDA for food, drug, and cosmetics. Now, some are made from coal tar derivatives and have known to be carcinogenic. They also often cause allergic skin reactions. Talc, as in baby powder. Yes, talc is hydrous magnesium silicate. It's a soft mineral used in personal care products as an absorbent and color additive. It's classified as a carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer if it contains asbestiform fibers. The quantity of asbestiform fibers in cosmetic-grade talc is unregulated. If talc is on the label, there is no way of knowing whether or not it contains asbestiform fibers, yes, as in asbestos. So, studies and findings. There are numerous studies that have been conducted examining the causation between deodorants and antiperspirants and breast cancer, Alzheimer's, and allergic reactions. The analysis of all major studies shows conflicting data. Depends on who's doing the research. Some findings support the hypothesis that there's a direct correlation between deodorant and antiperspirant use and breast cancer, while other research finds no link, again, between funding the research. Regardless, inconclusive results is enough reason for concern, and even the idea of using a carcinogenic product is certainly frightening. There have been studies on the ingredients in underarm deodorants and antiperspirants, everywhere from the European Journal of Cancer Prevention to the World Health Organization. The World Health Organization has linked exposure to aluminum to Alzheimer's disease. Lots of aluminum in antiperspirants. And they found that abnormal accumulation of aluminum has been found in the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease. And when aluminum is injected into the brains of laboratory animals, the animals develop a neurological disease very similar to Alzheimer's. Now think about this when you think about aluminum and Alzheimer's disease. Aluminum is in the antiperspirants. Aluminum fluoride is in toothpaste. Colgate and Crest and AIM and all the commercial toothpaste have aluminum also. So they're getting typical person is getting aluminum every single day as they put on their underarm antiperspirant, and they're getting it every single day, twice a day when they brush their teeth. Now, aluminum crosses the blood-brain barrier, so really, really dangerous for Alzheimer's. There was a study in the European Journal of Cancer Prevention. It was published a while back, 2003, and they interviewed 437 women with breast cancer about their past and present use of deodorants. The study reported that women who applied deodorant at least twice a week and shaved their armpits at least 3 times a week developed breast cancer almost 15 years younger than women who did neither. So definitely a correlation there. And one more study published in 2004 in the Journal of Applied Toxicology looked at the synthetic chemical parabens, and the researchers looked at 20 human breast tumor samples and found that parabens were present in 18 of the tumor samples. They concluded that the results suggested that parabens and deodorants could be absorbed through the skin and increase the risk of breast cancer. So you just want to be careful, all these things I just mentioned, and don't keep this information to yourself, but also share it with other people. And all these ingredients, too, most of them are estrogen mimics, so they mess with your hormones as well. There can be some pretty bad allergic reactions, too. So let me see if I missed anything here. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about Everfresh. It is our Sisel Safe product. It sells for about $7. It is 2 fluid ounces. I still have my original one. Gosh, I don't know, 6-8 months ago, and it's still, halfway full. You don't need to use very much, as I mentioned. And let's see here. Okay, so let's go over the ingredients, shall we? It gets pretty cut and dry, so I may skip over some. But what I'll do is I will list the ingredients, and you'll think, what in the world is that? And then I'll let you know what they are. So first of all, be listening for what's not in the ingredients. There are natural emollients. There's one called cyclopentasiloxane. It's an emollient, and I've checked out every single ingredient on the Good Guide's list of toxic chemicals and on other health sites. So they have the Jackie 2 thumbs up. I always do this. So kind of what we do is we go through the product. I look at every single ingredient and tell you what it is, and just double check that it is absolutely toxin-free and safe and healthy and Sisel safe. All right, the next ingredient is ethyl hexyl palmitate, and some of these I won't even be able to pronounce. It's just a branch saturated fat ester. It's used as a solvent and an emollient. Ethyl hexyl stearate, again, an emollient derived from plant oil, prevents water loss, so helps in keeping you dry. Hydroxypropyl starch phosphate, naturally derived sugar used in cosmetics. It's an emulsifier and a surfactant. It means it keeps things nice and smooth. And then we've got the glyceryl stearate, which is made from glycerin and stearic acid. It's a lubricant on the skin surface. All these ingredients have been assessed by the Cosmetic Ingredient Review, the CIR expert panel, as safe. They evaluate scientific data, and then they conclude whether it's safe. The ethyl hexylglycerin, a healthy alternative to parabens. It's a conditioning agent and preservative. Aloe leaf juice, antibacterial, antiseptic, astringent. Witch hazel leaf water is an astringent. Something I can't pronounce, phenoxyphenol conifera mira resin water, coriander seed water, antibacterial, sage leaf water, and antibacterial sodium sterol lactylate is an emulsifier. The polyglycerol-3 capillate is a mild vegetable-based co-emulsifier with antimicrobial properties. Sodium sterol glutamate emulsifier. Lantoin, capryl glycol, mild amino acid emulsifier, and then ethyl hexaglycerin paraben alternative, hexoglycol, natural surfactant, helps things roll on smoothly. Citric acid, we all know what that is. Deodorizer and an odor, kills odor-causing bacteria. Not very exciting, but that's what's in our product. And like I said, what is exciting and is a relief is all the things that aren't in it, okay? So every single ingredient is naturally derived with a purpose. And you know what? Excuse me. This deodorant is a deodorant. It's not an antiperspirant. Now, some people that aren't used to using deodorant and they use over-the-counter antiperspirants, they want to be dry, and that's not what this does. It keeps you dry for a little bit. It keeps you drier than normal, but it really is a deodorant, okay? So you're not going to stink. Doesn't mean you're not going to sweat. That's the difference, all right? So I noticed that it only lasts about a half day. So you can apply it again after a couple hours, 4 hours, or however often you need it, okay? So keep that in mind, that you're not going to be dry. But I would rather be safe and healthy and not get cancer or any of these other things that the bad ingredients can cause and not be completely dry than be completely dry and increase my risk for breast cancer and Alzheimer's and clog my pores with aluminum. I can't do it anymore. So you'll get used to it, and you definitely want to choose the healthier alternative, which is the Sisel Safe Ever Fresh deodorant. So I'm going to unmute the lines, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to jump in. If you have background noise, please do me a favor and press *6, and I will unmute the lines. Now I'm going to continue recording as well. All right, you are all unmuted. Wasn't that exciting?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, anyone have any comments, questions? Just want to say hello.
Jackie, this is Fred in Reno.
I'm sorry, who's this?
Fred in Reno.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing real well. Thank you very much, Jackie.
Good.
I talked to corporate today, and I forgot to ask one question, and perhaps maybe you would know. Is the Reinvigorate out yet? I don't see it on the order list.
No, it's not out yet. And, I stopped asking, and I figure it's going to be out as soon as they can get it out, and they'll let us know as soon as they know. Might even get a heads up from Fabian. He's great about that. So I thought, I just tell people soon, next week or two is what I'm telling people.
Yeah, well, I just kind of wanted it for my wife. Thank you very much, Jackie. That was a good call.
Sure. Oh, thanks, Fred. Any other questions or comments before we wrap up the call? You guys are just astounded with all this information, aren't you? You're reeling. Okay, well then let's call it a night and wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining me. Catch us next week for a new topic. And like I said, I'll be posting this evening so you can hear the call again. So thanks, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jackie.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.